Seasonal sapphic book recommendations, and I think that Lee does an excellent job of shooting a picture of love and capturing that. It follows a blacksmith's Hello everyone, and welcome back to a new video. It's been a while, but I thought I would start coming back to YouTube with a new series. I did TBRs last year seasonally, just my own TBRs, but I asked on Twitter if you guys would like to see anything specific on YouTube. There was an idea for seasonal sapphic book recommendations by Six of Dragons. I'll put that somewhere here in the description. But I really love that idea. So this will be a new series where every season I will be recommending you sapphic books for that season, divided by different themes. So for this series, I mainly read fantasy and romance. So that will also be the most of the books that I'll be recommending are within those genres. So if you don't like that, then that's totally okay, and you can just skedaddle over to another one of my videos. Anyways, let's get started. Our first category is everlasting romance. This is books that are about lasting connections that almost feel like they have that summer holiday feel and that they should be over when summer's over, but as you read these books, you'll find out that these are actually connections that should be lasting forever. The first book that we will be discussing is Dream On, Ramona Riley. This is the first book in the Clover Lake trilogy. The last book is coming out, I think, this September. And two of the Clover Lake books are on this list. And basically, this book is a whirlwind of like Hollywood, forgotten dreams, second chance for a first love. It's everything all at once, and Blake really makes you fall in love with these two main characters, one of which is Ramona, who has given up her dreams as a costume designer and is now working as a barista in her small town while she had to take care of her sister while she was trying to go to college, and so she quit college. Then Dylan's life is a bit the opposite of that. Being a rock star's child, she's always been in the spotlight, always been chasing what should be her dreams. But people seem to always want more and always expect nothing from Dylan, and it's kind of chewing on them and making them really second guess themselves in a way. And they really want to prove themselves. So they end up in the same small town that they used to go on vacation. These two women re-meet when Dylan starts working at the local cafe to get into her role more. Basically, you see in this book them re-fall in love, and I love this book, and it's I don't know, I'm very much a fan of all of Blake's works, but I really love this one, and it feels very summery to me. My second book I actually listened to on audio earlier this year, and that is Imogen, obviously, by Becky Arbitali. If a book has knocked me off my feet this year, it is this one. This brings teenage awkwardness, but also completely immersion in Imogen's life, her feelings, and how she deals with people, her empathy, but also when she starts discovering her place in the queer community, how she will face hurdles inside and outside the community, and how that kind of falls into place over the course of this book. Imogen ends up fake dating her best friend Lily as she's staying over on campus for a few days, where Imogen ends up meeting Tessa. And with Tessa in her life, she's realizing that her life might not be so straight as it might have seemed. Above all else, this book is like heartfelt. It has adorable romance. It has so much heart to it. It has so many loving personalities, a found family, and I would read probably a million books that are similar to this. I think it has a lot to say in terms of how the community treats each other and how the outside of the community treats each other. I think it's really interesting, and I hope you will love this one too. All right, second category, The Sun. These are cozy books that feel like a warm burning feeling is residing in your chest, and ones that make you linger within an afterglow after reading it for the warmth that makes its way into your heart while you're reading these. So these are all fairly cozy, and I love all of these, so I hope you will love them too. Our first book in this category is Roll for Love by M.K. England, and I've screamed this book from the top of the rooftops, and I still genuinely really love it. This book is about when Harper moves back into her late grandpa's old farm, and there she will meet her childhood best friend and crush, Ollie. She ends up joining Ollie's D&D group, and what Harper doesn't expect is that this opportunity of moving back to the small town makes her re-fall in love with the small town she used to go on vacation to, and also remember the dreams she made here in the first place with her papa. Besides the main amazing love story in this book, England also treats us to the side love story of Ollie and Harper's D&D characters also having a blossoming romance. So it's really fun. It is not both, like they don't both get the same attention, but it is both really well fleshed out. And I genuinely don't think that there's a better book for sapphic D&D nerds out there who want to see themselves represented within a small town. This was really lovely. I really loved it, and it's probably gonna get reread again, even though I reread it earlier this year. So yeah, I really love this one. The next book I don't have physically here with me, so bear with me, but it is Love in Focus by Lila Lee. In this book, Gemma has just gotten broken up with by her very yucky, hate that guy, boyfriend of 7 years, and she's living from her friend's couch as she kind of is wondering where to go when she gets an opportunity at work for a new project, one about modern love. The only caveat being is that she's working with a famous photographer named Celeste, who happens to also be the first woman that Gemma ever fell in love with, and the one that left her in college and never looked back. But Celeste seems gorgeous and kind as ever, so the question is, will Gemma allow herself to fall back in love with this woman that she knew so intimately when she's been close to heartbreak for all these years? I found this book extremely cute, and I think that Lee does an excellent job of shooting a picture of love and capturing that, while also showing how it survives in the smallest ways, even when we think it's done with us. Last recommendation is a graphic novel. It is The Tea Dragon Society by Kay O'Neill, and this is the first graphic novel on the list, but not the last. I have a second one coming in the next category. But I think the Tea Dragon Society can be enjoyed by people of all ages. I think it's gorgeous no matter what age you are, and you will find comfort in it, I think, regardless of where you're at in life. It follows a blacksmith's apprentice as she discovers the lost art of tea dragons and their care. She meets a fellow young girl when she finds a lost tea dragon, and the story goes on from there. I won't spoil more because it's quite short, and it is sugary sweet, this story, like honey, and I really loved it. Although it is fairly short, I still really enjoyed my time here, and I will be continuing the series. My third category is Finding a Road to Land On. These books follow summer-like adventures, often having these characters go on either a physical or philosophical journey, and in the end, we grow within these books. These books have a sense of hope in them, as well as just a focus on truly knowing oneself. This is the second graphic novel on the list, and it is Mamo by Sas Milaj. Milaj? I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm not good at names. In this book, Orla finds herself at a crossroad when she goes back to the town where she grew up, but she starts with little to no interest to continue her grandmother's line of magic. But then her town starts falling into disarray and a girl comes knocking at her door to help, and she goes in. This is a book full of witchcraft, a mystery, and at the middle of it, a lot of heart. Alright, I did look up this author's profile to see if there's anywhere where they pronounce their own name, and I couldn't find it. So I am sorry if I'm butchering this name. If you feel comfortable, tell me in the comments how I should have been pronouncing it. But I genuinely can't find it. So this book is Rani Must Die by Adipa Jaigirdar. And if we talk about character journeys and in sapphic books, I think it's mandatory to include one where the characters are both discovering their queerness as they fall for each other within the pages, and this book is exactly that, but also so much more. It's a story of two girls named Rani and Meghna. They're ex-best friends turned rivals that figure out that they're being cheated on by the same guy named Zach. And to get back at him and have revenge, they join forces and want to hurt him where it'll hurt the most, which is the science competition where Zach wants to win no matter what. These characters will also go on their own separate character journeys, but this book really makes these girls shine as the story goes on, and it shows a beautiful story of coming of age in the process. The next book on the list is She Drives Me Crazy by Kelly Quinlan. Due to Scotty losing a match against her ex-girlfriend, she, a player of the basketball teams, and her longtime nemesis and lead cheerleader Irene get into a fight, which leads them to forcibly have to carpool for the rest of the school year. The girls can't seem to get along and keep getting into petty conflict until Scotty sees an opening to get back at her ex, and so the fake dating scheme begins. It is a book about hijinks, heartbreak, and a heap of fake dating, all the while pulling your heartstrings and the characters refinding themselves within the pages. The last category is heating up. We all know that feeling of the heat that just makes you way too hot and it feels like you're radiating warmth. That is exactly what these books try to do, except they do it in the right way. I thought about it, and I think sapphics, just as much as the next person, deserve some more sexy stories to have. And I decided to include them in this category specifically. That doesn't mean that the books earlier do not include spies. If you are not comfortable with spies, do look up beforehand in the content warnings if they have spies and decide if you want to or want to not read them based off of that. For the people that aren't interested in spies, this might not be the category for you, and if that's so, I thank you for your stay. Comment some more sapphic books that you want to read this summer, and yes, much love from me. Thank you for watching. Alright, the first book is Cleat Cute by Meryl Wilsner. When Grace comes down with an injury that leaves her benched, new upcoming star and rival Phoebe takes her spot on the team temporarily. Phoebe is everything Grace isn't, with the joy and jokey energy that Grace has lost years ago. When the two women start working together, they seem like petty rivals. But there's also another spark there, one that they're more than happy to explore without talking about the repercussions of it. But with the World Cup coming closer and them being on opposite perspectives regarding the truth of their relationship, how will this whirlwind of a romance end up? The second to last book of this video is Count Your Lucky Stars by Alexandra Bellafleur. This is the third book in the Written in the Stars trilogy, but they're interconnected standalone, just like Blake's novels, so you don't need to read the first other two books to enjoy this one, but it might enhance your experience. After her whole group of friends has found the one, Margot doesn't seem to really get the big deal. Casual hookups are her thing after getting her heart tremendously broken, and she thinks she's done with relationships. But when they're viewing wedding venues for one of her friend's upcoming weddings, she comes face to face with her childhood best friend, first love, and her first everything, Olivia. Olivia, who, after turning 30, being married and now also divorced, has finally found her footing as a wedding planner in a new city. And then she comes face to face with the one that got away, Margot. After a series of unfortunate events, Olivia needs a place to stay, and Margot offers up her place. With close proximity and their sparks flying, Margot needs to think about the fact if she does only want casual, or if she will count her lucky stars that she's getting a second chance at her first love. And finally, the final book that I do have with me right now. Having two sets of places you're living really makes bookish videos sometimes so difficult. The last book is Get Over It, April Evans by Ashley Herring Blake. This is the second book in the Clover Lake trilogy, and although I do recommend reading Dream On Romola Riley that I recommended earlier, it is not necessary and you can read this separately. This book has so many layers I don't really know where to properly start with it. April Evans has to close up her tattoo shop and has to take a job as a summer art teacher in the Clover Lake's new resort. Her love life has been over and done with ever since her ex-fiance left her for a younger woman. Everything seems to be looking up until she meets her cabin mate, Daphne, who is the younger woman she was left for. Worst part is, Daphne doesn't even seem to know who she is. Daphne, who is frankly convinced she's cursed in love, even though her last name is Love, needs this job as a fresh start. If only her roommate and cabin mate did not seem to hit her as much. A rare opportunity also presents itself where the two women are fighting for the same spot in an art gallery. But as time goes on and they grow closer, walls begin to fall and a fire begins to burn. Will they find the inspiration and love they're looking for in the pitting of them together? Or will they end up heartbroken and lost in what could have been? I am genuinely so happy to be back. I had a rough few months. I won't get into details, but I had a rough few months and I'm finally back to YouTube making videos, what I love doing. And I just really hope you guys like this one. I tried to keep it short and cram in as many books as possible. And I'll probably be able to do a new one next year with the amount of sapphic books that I do read. I think I'll always be able to recommend new books to you guys. But yes, I already have some that I'm like, oh, they could have been fitting into this video while I was prepping and I finished more books. So I'm really excited to keep this series going for autumn, for winter, and for spring, of course, my favorite season. So yeah, thank you again to my Twitter muti who recommended me this video idea, and I hope you guys really loved it. I love that you guys take the time out of your day to watch my videos. I hope you've had a nice cup of tea and a pastry, and with that, I'll see you very soon.